Right, now this is something which has been on the lips of a lot of Arsenal fans over the last, I'd say even towards the back end of last season. And it's regarding Gabriel Martinelli, because I gotta say, we love him as fans. He's one of those guys that, because he works his socks off, he's a fan favourite. But there's no denying this guy is a shadow of his former self at this moment in time, and he's bang off form, bang off form. And it all started, I think, last season. I think his first 4 months of the season were decent. You know, he got that great assist for Nketiah against Forest. He got the winning goal against City as well. And then after that, I think he went on to score against Liverpool. But I would say even after the City game, so even I'd say from November until the back end of last season, Martinelli was, by his standards, poor. Very, very poor. And I think because he had that wonderful season in the 22-23 season, and he had half of the season where he displaced Smith Rowe in the season before, where he was excellent. I think because he had those excellent seasons, I think he deserves this season to try and put it right. But because we've got so much better as a team, he now has to deliver this season. He needs a big season. If he doesn't have a big season this year, I could see him becoming another Smith Rowe. I really could, because Smith Rowe burst on the scene, didn't he? But then he didn't sustain it. And then we bought Jesus, then we bought Havertz, then we bought Rice. And all of a sudden, you're bringing all these players, and then Smith Rowe just falls down the pecking order. I'm worried if we bring in another forward, because Trossard's already displaced him in the team. And I'm worried if we bring in another forward, Havertz obviously still there. I'm worried that Martinelli's just going to become another outcast. And that's why he needs a good season this year. Do I think he can do it? Of course I can, because he's Gabriel Martinelli. He's a lightning quick left winger. He's clearly shown he can find the back of the net. He scares the life out of fullbacks, but I just feel at the moment he's just so cautious. Like against Aston Villa, he was, even games before that, but particularly the Aston Villa game, he was running at Konsa or whether it's Cash when he came off, or the lad who came on for him. I can't remember his name, but there was just no conviction in Martinelli's running. And it's just, if that was him a year and a half ago, he'd be taking him on, and he'd even have a bit of an end product. And he's got no confidence, man. He's got no confidence, and he needs to pick up this season, because I think if he doesn't pick it up this season, Arteta might look to either move him on or bring in another forward to go with the forward we're trying to bring in this season. And then Martinelli might fall even further down the pecking order he needs a big season. I think the reason why he started the first 2 games of this season, I think Arteta's had a word with Trossard, and he said, listen, Martinelli's so short of confidence, I'm going to start him for these first games just to build his confidence up, just to see if he can put some good performances in and get his confidence back on track. And if he doesn't, then obviously Trossard, you'll be back in the team. And he just hasn't grabbed those opportunities, and that's why Brighton on Saturday, I think, even though we're trying to build Martinelli's confidence up, we can't be a charity case now. Even though we love Martinelli, this is the Premier League. We're going for the Premier League title. We're not going for top 4. We're going for the Premier League title. And I just think Trossard now has to start. Trossard, whether you like it or not, has grabbed that left wing position. He's just grabbed it. And I think Martinelli needs a bit of time on the bench, and then he needs to try and work his way back into the team. Maybe win the Champions League games, off the bench, etc. He has to try and win his place back, because right now we can't just be offering him charity performances, and charity games, because there's a lot at stake. The margins are so small, and Trossard is delivering. I think if Trossard didn't score after 2 minutes, we'd probably be saying start Martinelli against Brighton. But Trossard comes on and he scores. And I know people say Martinelli tires out the other team, and then Trossard comes on and finishes it. There's an element of truth in that. But what if Trossard's not having a good game? Trossard's more consistent than Martinelli, but what if he's having an off day and we only give him 25 minutes and he doesn't deliver? So I would say to start Trossard is probably the smarter move. Even though he might be better as an impact player, I still think what Martinelli is giving us is just not enough. And I back him. I love Martinelli, and I back him to turn it around. But he needs some time on the bench now, because it's been he wasn't himself last season, and he doesn't look himself now. And I think it might be a confidence thing. So yeah, he just looks a shadow. I think Arteta needs to just give him a break, let him start off the bench, and let Trossard play as the left winger, and hopefully we can see the old Martinelli. Because I tell you what, if he does not start delivering, I do worry for his Arsenal future, which is a shame, because we love him. You know, he works his socks off. He tries so hard. He does not stop running. But I feel like it's not enough, because I've been very critical of Conor Gallagher, because people say, oh, he runs so much, but everyone runs so much. You know, he has got loads of limitations to his game, and I think Chelsea made the right decision selling him. So if I'm going to say that, I have to be consistent, and I have to say it about Martinelli. It can't just be one rule for Gallagher and another rule for Martinelli. Everyone runs. Everyone works their socks off. Unless you're a mercenary like Marcus Rashford, everyone runs. But you have to, if you're going to play at the highest level, the end product has to come at some point. And that's why Martinelli, he really does, he does have to deliver soon. So maybe the time on the bench will help him. We'll see. But he needs a big season.